Sorry, we didn't ask you.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Hello. Welcome to episode number 5 of the Opinionated Podcast. I'm Jack.
Oh, I'm Tom, I suppose.
Go on, Matthew. Give yourself an intro there.
Hello, I'm Matthew. Yeah, very original.
Brilliant. Matthew, we got him on this week to express some of his opinions. He's been described to me as an extreme socialist with a love of Soviet Russia. Would that be right?
It wouldn't be too far wrong now, I'd say. Like, you know,
That's all right.
I'm
not quite communist then.
no. Like, I don't know. Like, in theory, they're a great bunch of lads, but in principle, God, Jesus, they have some serious problems that need dealing with.
Brilliant. Yeah, I like it. Yeah. Any crack witches? Nothing new.
Not really, no.
Near a bit.
I suppose I should probably say after spending like 3 years in the presence of our resident communist here, like his opinions are going to be really valuable throughout this show.
Yeah, we'll go with that. That sounds good. You are qualified to talk about what we will be talking about.
Yeah.
Yes, fully qualified.
About as qualified as either of us. I suppose, sure, we may as well start off. Probably the biggest story locally, anyway, or in Ireland, is the move to level 3. What is the thoughts, or are the thoughts, I should say, this time?
I don't know. I think it's a bit of a shit show at the minute, like, isn't it? There's nobody seems to know. Yeah, well, that seems to be like my go-to phrase every week here. But yeah, I don't know. Like, Donnelly seems to be out of sync with Varadkar, who seems to be out of sync with Neffet, who are elected by the government to guide, but are not allowed guide. So I'm not quite sure who's in charge anymore, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
I heard it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's utterly fucking mayhem. Like, Neffet are there to fucking advise and not to govern. Having said that, though, I think there was an awful lot of confusion with the press with the way it was put out. Like, I think the press were kind of portraying that it was Tony Holohan or Neffet who put out the letter before consenting with, or before notifying the government. But it seems to have gone a different direction now, that it was a leak. And apparently, according to I'm not sure who it was according to, but the government knew about this beforehand. Even Stephen Donnelly knew about this beforehand.
Yeah, well, Holohan or whatever the fuck, I don't know. There's so many different variations of it.
On that cushy voice, boy.
Don't ton of Holohan there. Yeah, he said he like relayed his fears to Donnelly prior to some meeting or other, and before tea time, as he said on Sunday. But yeah, so I don't know. I actually find it really funny how these things manage to get leaked. Like, surely there's only about 5 people in the meeting. Like, you could surely figure out who the fuck leaked it. Like,
who knows? It might have been Stephen Donnelly. Surely, like, that's like the last person you'd like say, "Oh, here, listen, we might actually have a leak here." You know, it's like trampoline, man. Like, you know, Jesus. The worst person to do
by
it.
accident. Like, you can just imagine him sitting there, like, and he gets this text or something. Next thing he sends it to a fucking journalist by accident. You can imagine his fucking face.
Oh shit! I was texting my mom, and I was just like,
it just goes to that WhatsApp group with Gibbo in it. Do you remember the Queen is dead. That was Stephen Donnelly.
Do you reckon it's the right move?
Let Matthew go first.
Like, in the grand scheme of things, I think so. Like, economically speaking, it would be utterly devastating if you went to level 5. I can understand that completely. Yeah. But going off like predictions, like in terms of healthcare wise, it's looking pretty risky at the minute. Like, I don't know how many cases there were today, but like hearing like the number 600 kind of gives you flashbacks of like April and like the early days of it. We don't want to return to that, but I don't know. Like, it'll take 2 weeks. Surely nothing too kind of apocalyptic will happen in 2 weeks. Well, we won't know what this government like anything can happen. But
country just descended to civil war or something.
Yeah. Oh, stop! Imagine like the absolute scenery. But no. I think it's the right move all around at the minute, but only time will tell how much of a failure or how much of a success it will be.
Yeah, Tom.
No, I think level 5 should have been implemented. I think, yeah, the economic hardship would have been compounded by level 5, but I think we're on a slow strangulation of the economy as it is at the minute towards level 5. So I don't know. I just think our vitals in terms of healthcare are fucked at the minute. You know, there's very few ICU beds. We're seeing another. I think it was just over 500 cases again today. You know, 23 here in Wexford. 23 cases in Wexford with one ICU bed free at the minute. So I don't know. I just think
person.
roll up
For one lucky person in the room. There's not one for everyone in the audience.
No, I just think it's delaying the inevitable, to be honest. What do you think, Jack?
Yeah, I can see both views, but I think I'm more inclined to agree with Matthew. The way I look at it,
you don't have to know just because
just because he's new. I have to get into he's a new person.
I can take it.
New fish. Yeah, like if you look at the cases, there might be a rise in cases, but there's not so much a rise in deaths. I think if people aren't dying from it, I don't think there's as much of an issue.
Yeah, but if you keep recording 600 cases a day, it's eventually going to creep into the over 65 population. Like eventually, people are going to start dying. They're not dying right now, but 2 weeks time, those.
Yeah, but at the same time, that over 65 population is like they're not the ones who are contributing to the economy as much. It's the middle group, 18 to 65 year old age bracket. They're the ones who are contributing, and they're the ones who are paying the tax and, you know, keeping the economy alive. And if those are taken out of the economy and put onto whatever the PUP or whatever the fuck they go onto, then it becomes a drain on the economy more so. And now I'm looking at it economically, like health wise, yeah, it makes sense to lock down, like just to be careful. But economically, I don't think it's worth it to go fully to level 5.
Yeah, especially even just from a social aspect. Oh, me being the socialist, but like we're creeping into winter now as well. I don't think too many people would be particularly fond of going like full scale, like Berlin Wall kind of bravado stuff. Just coming into winter. But
there's our first socialist reference.
You know, I'm gonna try to squeeze as many in as I can here, but no, like I don't know. Are we like heading towards kind of like a herd immunity sort of scheme? Like if this is the way we're gonna go, if we're being encouraged to go level 5, but we're gonna go level 3 and see what's the story.
Give it a go.
Yeah,
give it a go. Yeah. For a government who was saying like we need to live alongside COVID like 2 weeks ago, to going, oh shit, you know, everybody back inside there now. Like, yeah, but
I think there's a difference between like living beside COVID and living next door to COVID 24 hours a day. Like, you know what I mean? I think, you know, I just like Varadkar said today, or the Taoiseach, as I should probably call him, said today that we have 10 days of level 3 to grasp, to get a hold of the virus. I just can't see it happening. Like, it's taken more than 10 days in Dublin to get stable again. So like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm fighting the level 5 corner here. I just wanted to. I just thought like quick, sharp. You know, it's going to happen. Like, we're eventually going.
When has anything quick happened in this country other than its utter collapse? Like
this was said in March. Like we said, we'd be back open by Easter, 2 weeks time. Yeah. Fucking like we were still in lockdown in May. Like we didn't start coming over until the 19th of May was stage 1 of the reopening.
Yeah, it's this Asher will be home for Christmas sort of kind of attitude.
Yeah,
you know?
that's all that's ringing for me again now.
I saw a tweet the other day. Can you imagine all the Christmas ads this year? It's going to be like Zoom calls with fucking John Lewis. Your man on the moon is just going to be.
Don't go there.
I forgot about that, to be honest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just Noah Gallagher singing we're half world away, and the internet cuts out. Like,
oh God.
and there's actually, for those of you who want to know, there's actually a drone just flying outside my window here for some reason.
we've been spotted.
That's Mike Pence is coming.
he's coming. He's coming.
Yeah.
For anyone that doesn't know, it means you haven't listened to the rest of our podcast. So fuck off back down there. Like.
Yeah, get back down through those early episodes. They're worth the listen.
Yeah.
Genuinely concerned now. There's like a drone flying outside.
Oh God!
I'm Marco Bielsa from like another podcast.
Is that you, David McWilliams?
David.
Anyway, sorry. About that.
Yeah, no better. Yeah. Speaking of COVID, we'll travel across the pond to the Don. Has supposedly contracted it. The Donald.
He's immune now, apparently, though. His DNA wasn't DNA, it was USA.
Yeah, it's the greatest DNA in the world.
Yeah.
A blessing from God, he was saying today. God.
I have to say,
fucking idiot.
He's provided quite a bit of entertainment over the last few weeks, like the Don has.
It's entertaining, yeah. But at the same time, like, what a fucking idiot. Like.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you reckon he had it at all?
I'd say he did, yeah.
Yeah, no, he looked fairly shook now going around in that SUV, just... Yeah,
what was he at? What was he doing there? Like
I don't know. I think it's an act of desperation, really, isn't it? Like, he knew full well he didn't do too well in the debate, and, got to show the people, whoever the people are, his support.
Having said that, though, like, he's still not reflecting too great in the polls. Like, there's a poll came out yesterday or today. It showed Biden is 56% and Trump is 41%. Like, the gap is growing.
But I still have full confidence that Biden can fuck that up.
Oh yeah, of course. Like, for a man who can't put one sentence together without incorporating some sort of another sentence, and neither of them having anything in common.
So here's the deal.
I'm going to give it to you straight here, chap.
Yeah. That debate was just him going, so here's the deal. And then looking directly at the camera, the American people.
It's terrible.
Brilliant bit for entertainment.
The two most quotable things from that debate are, here's the deal, and will you shut up, man? Like, that's saying something about a presidential debate. Like,
it was the same with the VP debate as well last night. Everyone was going on about the fly, the famous fly.
I actually thought that Mike Pence was always a robot, and then when that fly landed on his head and stood there for 3 minutes, I thought, yeah, he's definitely a robot now. Like,
Biden's team actually, I think it was like shortly after one of the like campaigners actually started like advertising fly swatters as like a kind of a vote Biden kind of thing, and he was like, pick truth over flies.
Oh my god! I actually thought the debate was probably,
it was awful.
It was better quality than the presidential one, though. Kamala Harris seems like she has some brain cells.
Yeah, definitely so. A bit more, slightly competent.
Well, I don't know.
Pence is a bit questionable now, all right, but
it's a bit odd, anyway. Like,
a few short of the perfect number, but like, that's to be expected.
Do you reckon that this is a form of do you reckon there's a plan behind Kamala Harris or whatever the fuck her name is? That's terrible. I shouldn't have said that.
What are you suggesting?
Where's this going here now?
Do you reckon
it was a token putting her on the card?
No, I was going to go the opposite way. Do you reckon Biden has it on the cards that he'll give it maybe a year and then fucking step down, or
He'd be lucky to survive a year by the
Well-
way he's going. You know, he's not too long away from a new pacemaker now. I'd say
Like, what age is he? He's pretty old.
78 or like
Like, fuck that old.
I think so. He's older than Trump anyway. Trump is 74, so
Yeah.
74, yeah.
he's pushing the 80 mark now.
Ah, yeah, that's pretty old.
Imagine Bernie Sanders. Like it'd be just like an episode of Futurama at this stage. It'd just be a head in a jar.
But yeah, do you reckon Biden will step aside or could step aside and leave the presidency to Kamala?
I don't see him getting 2 terms out of it anyway.
No, definitely not.
But then again, I don't know. The man's a career politician all the same though. Like so,
Yeah, true.
if you're at last president, you're only going to give up after a year. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
you never know though. He could get a bit power hungry, kind of like how Trump has kind of seemed to have gotten anyway. The more he's in power, he kind of grabs it as much as he can.
Yeah, he seems to be, to me, an awful lot of what he's doing lately. It seems to be kind of grasping nearly, grasping
it's
the straw,
desperation.
trying to cling on to what he has or had.
it's like,
Hasn't.
Or has.
it's like I said in the last podcast, I think it was. He has no like key argument. Like last time was the wall. Like everyone got excited over the wall. Now he doesn't really have anything anymore. Like does he even?
Yeah. No, because like he promised that last time and nothing happened. Apart from ICE, maybe, like, which is
ICE.
a disgrace. But yeah,
which is horrendous.
the
Immigration control.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking disgraceful. Like, but people don't seem to notice. It's crazy. What do you reckon this week? On the outcome?
I don't know. Like I said, I have full confidence Biden can fuck it up between now and the election.
Yeah,
Americans are just such a weird people. Like, it's just so odd. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're standing outside a hospital cheering for a man who doesn't give a shit about you. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw it. I thought it was good fun though. It was good like teaser there the last few days. You know,
Ah, yeah, it's entertaining.
it's so like it's so depressing. It's funny.
Yeah,
It's a calamity, a true
Yeah.
calamity.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly.
What's the socialist view here? Is Biden a like middle ground between Bernie and Trump?
Oh, like it's kind of like you're taking the best of a worse lot, really, aren't you?
Yeah,
Obviously, I would have loved to see Bernie get in, but like I don't think he would have lasted 6 months within like getting in. But I don't know. I don't like either of them, but I don't know. I think Biden is definitely the people's favorite, but then again, Hillary was the people's favorite in the last one. So like the college electorate will be the key decider, I think, in this one as well.
yeah.
I can see it. Like we literally don't know. We can't predict it. People's polls, I think, really mean nothing until the final day.
Do you reckon there'll be Russian collusion again, or an attempt at Russian?
100%.
Because it is more or less proven now that Russia colluded in the 2016 one, that they had an element in Trump's election.
The more I think about it, though, the less like is there a need? Like, because if Biden gets elected, he's useless. If Trump gets elected, he's useless. So like, it's kind of a win-win for Putin. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Dumb and
He could
dumber.
probably-
Just pick
Yeah.
one.
You could take the tube. You could take the tube off and on, and if we can bare knuckle fight, like you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. I suppose that's about it.
US of A,
Let's let's just move away from the US for a while. Might come back home for a little bit to a little bit more local. The Dying with Dignity bill passed there yesterday, or
Yes.
the day before. What are your thoughts on it?
Are we on the way to the new eugenics program of the 21st century?
Here he
Will
goes.
Ireland become, will Ireland become the new Switzerland?
No, I don't know. Like, will it? Like, genuinely, like, I don't know. It seems like a step in the right direction anyway, in terms of just like actually allowing something that I think is like a almost a basic human right. Like, you know, when you think you've had enough of it, you should have the right to say, listen, pull the plug.
I shouldn't laugh.
It's a nice way of putting
metaphorically and literally.
What way do you stand, Tom? Because we know that you had a strong view on this last week.
Did I?
Or maybe it wasn't strong, but maybe it wasn't a strong view, but you had a view.
It's been a bit of a shit week, Jimmy.
Well, throw
yeah, no, I think if you're in that amount of desperate pain, like, a person should be allowed to say enough is enough, you know. So I think it's another step really in Ireland's history that we're becoming more, I think, attuned to an individual choice. You know what I mean? Maybe.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. I think it is a move in the right direction. Do you think that there should be restrictions around it? What should what's the word I'm trying to think of? Qualifications, for lack of a better word. I can't think of what the word. What do you think? What requirements do you reckon there will be? There should be.
I think you should be of sound body and mind anyway. Well, maybe not body, but sound mind. Like, you know, you should, you know, and no one should make the decision for you. So I think that you need to be mature enough. And when you're not mature enough, you know, maybe, I don't know. I don't even know whether, like, under 18-year-olds should have their parents decide. But, like, I don't think that's something you need to put on parents. But I think a clinical point of view is needed as well, you know. You can't just, you know, go in with a bad leg and say, I want to end the doc, like, you know what I mean? It needs to be reasonable.
We've ran out of magic sponges.
Yeah.
There's no water bottle is empty. What do you reckon, Matthew?
I don't know, like especially in like younger cases, like I don't know. Are you at that stage where you can actually make such a like monumental decision? But like as well though, it's kind of a case of only the person in that scenario will understand how to feel. Like, it's like, I can't say, if let's say you were on your deathbed or whatever, I can't say, well, like, I don't think you should do it, but like, I don't know how much pain you're going through or whatever. But then again, I kind of agree with Tom. Like, if you're not like kind of mentally sound, how can you actually make that decision like full-heartedly, knowing that you're in that state? But like in the case of like what's that Darwinian scientist or something from like Australia, he was like 115 or something there, and he's like, I want to go to Switzerland and just call it a day. Like, you know, like I completely understand that. Like 115 is just too old, man. Like, you know,
just let it go.
Yeah, just come on. Like I've lived long enough now.
Yeah. Just talking about the age limit there. We mentioned this last week. In Belgium, there's no age limit, but it's only in cases that are terminally ill. What do you think of that, Matthew? I know I asked you last week, Tom.
I guess like I understand anyway, like from like a point of view of like the terminally ill, like you're given a few days, few weeks, few months to live. You're in incredible pain. Why wait? I can understand that, but there's a lot of other kind of things you have to consider as well, like even just other illnesses, other diseases. Like what I don't know, given a scenario like you lose like all your limbs or something, you literally just can't move. Like, what's the point? You know, like I don't know. I think you know, like there's so many other things. Even being blind, like, or you know, just simple things like that. I don't know. But then does it become a bit farcical then? I don't know. Like I don't know really how to kind of quantify
where do you draw the line?
Where do you draw the line? Yeah, exactly.
At what point, like, does your quality of life become negative quality of life, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. It's
Tough one.
Maybe we get a Manchester United fan on next week and ask him.
I know a few sorry faces.
Yeah, it's. I think it is a move in the right direction, though. Definitely, it is the right way. I think it's also a good. I found it interesting that the Greens, the entire Green Party, turned against the government, and voted for the bill. It was interesting to see because I had a look at the breakdown. I think 10 of Fianna Fáil, I think it was 12 of Fine Gael, and the entire Green Party voted for it. And then most of the left barred the Rural Independence group, which voted to.
Yeah, but sure, they don't really count. Like,
nah.
They're like the wizard. They're like the wizards who just sit in the corner, like in
the druids, more like.
I couldn't think of
Sipping druids.
Yeah. I think it's. I don't know whether it was an indicator or not to suggest even more divisions within government.
I don't know.
The whip wasn't on the parties, though, wasn't it? No?
Say that again.
Sorry, the whip wasn't on some of the parties, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I don't think so.
So it's like an individual vote. So I guess it's quite an individual thing.
Yeah, maybe.
There wasn't much kind of debate as much, though, was there? It was more just like it passed. That was it.
Yeah, there wasn't much to talk about.
You think there would be, though, considering like it seemed
Yeah,
a bit like
it's
it completely flew under the radar for me. Like I was just reading the news there this morning, and I was like, oh, like that's a thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, yeah, considering how prominent the Mary Fleming case was a couple of years ago, and her battle with the Supreme Court up as far as the Supreme Court for her right to aid or to fucking avail of assisted suicide.
Mm-hmm.
I would have thought that would have, showed up a bit more in the headlines and the lead up to it even.
It's all a bit heavy, isn't it?
It's very heavy. Yeah, I thought we left this behind us last week. I didn't expect to spend this much time. I literally wrote DWD bill passed. That's the only note I have on it. Yeah, let's switch to our newest segment, our conspiracy theory segment. Ooh.
Spooky.
Spooky, yeah. So I have one. I haven't done a whole lot of research. I read an article there last week, so this is what I'm basing it on.
You're more qualified than a lot of conspiracy theorists.
This one is actually founded in some sort of fact.
Right.
So yes, I've heard of the conspiracy theory that reality is a simulation.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Well, according to some scientists, I read about this last week that they have discovered now. Yeah, they have discovered now that black holes emit a type of error correcting code, and they think now this seems to be only present in computers, and they can't understand why.
Do I need to invest in a tin hat here? Like,
a little.
Am I under threat?
Yeah. But they reckon that this could be evidence that we are actually living in a simulation.
Interesting.
What do you think?
Well, I'll tell you what I think. I don't have a fucking clue what any of that means. All I know is who the fuck gives a shit. Like,
well, I think
if there's a black hole out there, fair enough. We're never going to get there. Just fucking leave it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what is the point? Like, why are we so transfixed with like going to the moon and all that crack? Like, you know? Sorry, the drone is outside again. But like, oh, who cares? Like, you know? Fucking black holes and fucking cold and
you know, not like to know if you really exist or not, or whether you're just
shit, like, you know.
Tom likes to live in the moment. We don't need to know about the other. Like, you know, we have enough things to worry about.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, I know my brain can't comprehend it. Like, so unless I meet fucking, you know, Code Tom down the line somewhere, like, I don't really care. I don't care.
What do you reckon, Matthew?
No, I definitely like. I've over the Rona now. I've been investing a good bit of time in Netflix, and there's this show. It's all in German, It's called Dark. I don't know if you've heard of it or not, but
I've actually forgot how weird you are, dude.
It's funny. Like touching the surface here, like, you know. No, like it's all about like time portals and like how kind of like there's cracks in time and like kind of other dimensions. Actually, I was reading something in preparation because I remember you talking about conspiracy theories last week, that there's like there's some sort of like black hole kind of creator thing on the border of like France and Switzerland, where like it like breaks down like particles or something and has the potential
CERN or the Hadron Collider at CERN.
Yes, that's it. And like that could like either like create like a third dimension or like another alternate kind of reality, or even possibly bring us to hell.
That's how they discovered the God particle.
Yes.
Now, don't ask me what the God particle is.
No, I have no idea. I was like, please don't ask me. I just know the name of it. Like,
what's your thoughts on that, Matthew?
Ooh.
I read up on that as well. I saw some of that. I think the theory that it could open a portal to hell is a little bit much.
Bit religious, like there's no need for
a little bit religious, yeah. Whatever about it, you know, creating a black hole and engulfing the earth. All right, whatever. We don't know much about that, but I don't know. It's interesting, I think.
Hey, you'd like to see hell all the same, though, wouldn't you? Like just
see all the boys, like, you know,
pop down and have a look, see what's going on. You know.
Yeah. Well, Hitler, how's it going?
He's still in Argentina, don't worry.
I knew you were going to say that.
Here we go.
Actually, I also heard a conspiracy theory that was very interesting, that I think it was an American fella. He was like investing a lot of time like to see, because like, he was like looking at like Nazis going into like Argentina, and he claims that Adolf Hitler could be hiding on the moon.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
He was in that John Lewis ad, remember that?
Oh God!
In all fairness,
like there's some nuts out there. Like,
you see, like I find that way more plausible than alternate reality. Like if I look up at the moon there and I think, yeah, you know, he could be there. Actually, like, do you know what I mean? Like,
you just see like a swastika flag just somehow like being waved upon there. Like, you know, it's just like what the fuck's going on there? Like,
oh, Jesus Christ. That's pretty far out there, I think.
Oh, it's bonkers. Truly bonkers.
That's whatever about him fucking still being alive and escaping to Argentina. The moon, like the fucking moon.
To be fair, if you had the choice of going to the moon or Argentina, it'd be the moon, like, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
I suppose. I suppose. Back to the simulation theory thing. I just wanted to ask you, do you reckon this, well, as much as Tom mightn't care about it now, but do you reckon this could open up the conversation for the idea of God? If we are living in a simulation, is the idea of God like a way of whoever created the simulation of telling us that they are there?
I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, to be fair, as long as the kettle turns on in the morning, I'm happy enough. Like, so there being a God, I don't know. Matthew, what do you think?
I think it says an awful lot about like our search for, you know, a meaning to life and that kind of thing.
Meaning, like what's this obsession with meaning of life?
What's the point? What's the point?
The point is, you're here, have a good time. Don't worry about fucking God, hell, whether Hitler's on the moon or not. Like, you know what I mean? Just fucking relax, like, you know. You have to have a good career. You have to mean your life. You know, I want to figure out the meaning of life for on 24. Fuck off, like, you know.
Hitler's on the moon. That's definitely the title to this week's podcast.
Oh, jeez. A lot of moons going around here these days.
Hitler's eating Jaffa cakes on the moons, lads. This is the half moon.
He took the last packet. Like, yeah. No, I think we're just like inherently obsessed with like the finding the other, or like finding like what's beyond here, like just even in terms of space. Like we spend, well, like America spends, like NASA, billions, I imagine, on like trying to find like other life forms on other planets in other galaxies. Like it's bizarre. But coming a bit down back to Earth, like, yeah, like, I don't know. It definitely, there's elements that would make you suggest that it would be a simulation. But then again, are we just overthinking it then? Going to Tom's kind of thing, like, is the kettle turning on because I have electricity, or is kettle turning on because God decided, yeah, do you know what? Tom deserves his cup of tea in the morning, you know?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, I think.
Can I just ask questions to who he is here? And it just came to my head. If the golden day comes and you arrive at the gates, the big pearly gates, where I think, is it Peter? Does he stand there, or does God? I don't know. One of them does.
I think it's Peter, and it's St. Peter.
Yeah. But they've said, like, yeah, here, lads, you can come in, or you can just like cease to exist. But all that's in here is we all just sit around on clouds talking. Would you go in, or would you like?
Hang on,
Like,
so the choice is to go in or to cease to exist. Like, ever, you just finish the game, like, you know?
Yeah. Just, you know, like,
Complete it, mate.
Complete it, mate.
Do we actually need to go to heaven? Like, if there is one, can we like have a choice of not going?
This is the whole purpose of religion, isn't it? Like Buddhism and like reincarnation, and like, you know, there's different alternatives.
It's a comfort. I think religion is a way of comforting ourselves to say, you know, death isn't final. You know, like once you die, you're not just gone. Like, I don't know. I think.
Why do we
it
have
depends. I'd have to
with death on this fucking podcast? Like,
yeah, fucking hell! Like, you asked the pearly gates thing.
Yeah.
And we decided to make it morbid.
Yeah, shit. I don't know. I think I'd have to need a bit more detail about, you know, what do they talk about. I mean, like, like.
Oh, the NFL
lad. Tampa Bay Buccaneers absolutely slaying it over there.
Yeah, fuck. I don't know. I think if it's the case that they just sat around talking, nah, fuck it. Get rid of it.
I think it seems pretty boring. Like,
I was just gonna say, what is heaven? Like, is it just this only ghosts, or like, you know what I mean?
That's for you to decide, Tom.
No one's really, but everyone's obsessed with getting there, but no one's actually like planned what they're gonna do when they get there. Like maybe I am overthinking this. Sorry, I'm gonna go back to my normal position of fuck thing I can't understand.
Just on a quick one, just moving away from conspiracy theories. What do you think of ghosts? Do you think they exist, or spirits?
Terrible films.
That Casper fella, he's Jesus. He may be dropped, like, you know.
Yeah, get rid of him. Cancel him.
Sure, look, there's haunted castles built for the event of it, like, you know. Don't know how real they are, but I don't know. I'd like to think there's kind of some kind of presence or something, but is that God in some way or another? Like, just moving around, like, as the host? Like, I don't know.
It's this fucking podcast is very religious and very morbid this week. Jeez, I think we're just gonna might just leave that segment right there. Just on that note,
please.
Right, Tom or Matthew, do either of you have a curveball at all, or anything that just could throw into it?
Matthew surely has a curveball.
Oh, let me just read through all my notes here.
Oh wow.
I don't know.
An opinionated podcast first, everyone. Notes.
Like, I don't know. Like, I'd like to hear your one if you have one on handy anyway. To see what I'm dealing with here.
Right. Well, this week I struggled an awful lot to find a curveball. I massively struggled, actually, in fact. This is what I could come up with. What are your opinions on our tax system, and do you think our tax money is being used correctly?
I think the socialist has to go first here.
I'm not the right person to be asking about taxes. Not that I pay them. I literally have no idea how they work. But no, I don't know. Like, this country has a long history of just money being put in the Schleveen accounts and being spent on things that aren't meant to be spent on or taken advantage of, yada yada. Like, I wouldn't be half surprised if, like, I don't know, Michael Martin has like some sort of like offshore bank account in like the Canaries for I don't know what, but I'm sure he has some sort of hobby that he's not comfortable sharing to the world. But
just for buying blue ties, is it, or something?
Yeah,
dodgy videos, extra videos. No, like, you know, I like definitely on the surface anyway, the politicians anyway, from like a kind of a POV stance, like they don't look that shady, but like at the same time I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah. Do you reckon that, well, I think you answered that kind of like the way my take on it is that we pay ridiculous amounts of tax and get fucking shit services. I think our public transport system is dire.
Appalling.
Our health system is shocking, and our fucking social housing structure is fucking awful as well.
Sounds like we're communist Russia here, like, you know.
But like, for the level of tax that we pay, I think it's being spent in all the wrong places. It's not being invested in. It's not being invested efficiently, I don't think. It's all everything that they do, everything they invest the money, tax revenue in, is very short to medium term. Like things like HAP and things like fucking, I don't even know. Like, it's very mismanaged, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think at a local level it is quite like I think we're starting to kind of, we love big projects in Ireland, don't we? Like, we love building bridges or fucking massive apartments, like, you know what I mean? But we don't like doing the small things. And I think
the simple things.
Yeah, and I think if we got the simple things right, well then we should actually probably pay a little bit more tax to actually really like do a nice job on it, like, you know what I mean?
But do you not think that we're already, like, if you earn over €34,000, half your wages are gone, half your salary is gone, taken as tax? Do you not think that that's enough already? Like, that's a ridiculous amount of money to be handing over. To be 6 months of the year, you're getting none of that.
Yeah, but when I say that pay more tax, like, I don't mean the lower incomes. You know, I think, was it the top 10% on? Was it the top 1% on 10% of the? I don't know. Rich people are very rich, but like, I think there should come a point where higher up you go, maybe you do pay more tax, but then, you know, should you be? I don't know. I'm a bit confused now. I confused myself.
I think you're as confused as the people responsible to actually spend all this money as well. I think that's where most of the money. Like, I think we're very inexperienced with handling money. Like, we were so poor beforehand. Like, I think it's a case of like, we were after discovering it now, and we literally have no clue what to do with it.
Yeah, I think Celtic Tiger is pretty evident to that. Like, we had fuck all money for so long, you know, and we got a bit, we fucking didn't know what to do with it. Like,
yeah, we were really poor. Then we let Dev handle everything, and then we were fucked on our own. Like,
that's what you get for letting snakes be in charge of money and taxes.
Yeah.
Snakes.
I actually think though, like, politicians in Ireland get a bit of a bad rap. They're probably not too bad. Like, you know, there's a couple of dodgy ones now, and like, we all disagree, and we don't like this fella, we don't like that fella, but like, we could be worse though, to be fair. Like, you know what I mean? We could have the Irish fucking Freedom Party in there, like, you know.
Yeah, but like they're fascists, and I don't think as far as like as strong as some people's opinions might be towards the right, I don't think anybody's a fascist.
No, not really. Like if you elect Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, Sinn Féin, Dublin's not going to burn down in the morning. Like, you know what I mean?
Nah.
Yeah,
There's a relative continuity, like, and there's a handover of power, and everyone's kind of fairly sound, like, you know.
We're all too central, you see. That's the be all and end all. You're right, but you're center, like a bit to the right, not the center.
Yeah. I like it.
We did mention the one incredible outburst during the week. I made headline news. Mr. Michael Healy-Rae.
That was amazing.
What a character.
Amazing.
Absolutely went from 0 to 60 faster than a fucking Ferrari. Like, you know what I mean?
I expected Danny Healy-Rae to do it, not Michael.
Fucking hell, man.
You take that back.
Yeah. I actually thought the funniest part of the whole thing was Michal just going, relax, will you? Like, you know?
Like, what you're going to do? Fight me?
Yeah.
I still don't. That fucking, as funny as the whole situation was, like, Martin just rubbed me wrong. Like, as funny as him saying, relax, will you? Jesus Christ. His arrogance towards it, like, and his lack of fucking giving a shit.
God, that's an awful thing to say altogether.
It's the very thing, like, the likes of, like, Mary Lou or anyone else in the Dáil, like, would be, like, shouted down upon, like, and he kind of gets away with it.
Yeah.
It's belittlement, like, it literally is belittlement.
Yeah. I think so, yeah, definitely. He has that way about him, though, I think.
Yeah.
Didn't he address him there today, actually, as, like, he was, like, saying, like, oh, Taoiseach and Taoiseach, Asher, you're all the same anyway now, like, you know. It's like
brilliant.
Yeah, he's just, what a man.
I actually, like, I think Matthew McGrath is probably the worst there. Matthew McGrath is just away with it altogether, like, isn't he?
He's away with the fairies and whatever else.
An absolute space cadet, like, you know what I mean?
Like, between him and Michael Lowry, Tipperary have an awful lot of answering to do. The Tipperary electorate, like, they have an awful lot to answer for.
We're not too bad to hear in Wexford with that.
Well, hell, I suppose, with that fucking each over in Europe.
Yeah, no, anyone, what do you call him? Oh, she's TD there now. Verona Murphy.
Oh, Verona. Oh, fucking Corona Verona.
Yeah.
Corona Verona.
What?
Never.
I could incriminate that woman right now, but I won't. I have
save it for another day.
I have some dirt. I have some dirt on that woman. It's I know. I suppose what county?
There's some good characters though, isn't there? Like, Irish politics is quite fun. Like, you know what I mean? There's some. We went from like Willie O'Dean out to Michael McGrath, you know, the Healy-Rae, like, you know.
Yeah.
There's always been an oddball to lighten the day a bit, like.
Yeah, true. There has always been someone just to give us a bit of a laugh.
Yeah.
I am just happy that I don't have to look at Mick Wallace's face anymore.
Yeah. It's just knowing that he's out there, though, scary, like.
It is scary, and the fact that he's representing us on an international stage is even scarier.
And
how is that allowed?
And he's friends with the Ming Flanagan, like.
Ming.
Ming, old pal.
For an arrogant bastard of a man, like, his Twitter posts are pretty much gold, like.
Yeah, he's quite funny. Did he get hacked the other day as well, though, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would you hack the Ming Flanagan's Twitter account? Like, what?
Of all people, like.
What are you gonna do? Tweet something funnier than Ming? Like, it's just not possible.
No.
Not gonna happen.
Not happening. Like.
So, who's your local nut job of a TD, Matthew?
Oh, I don't know. Like, we don't really have nut jobs. We just have like incompetent fools and bigots. Like, you know, it's like. I don't know, like there's not really kind of a standing out name really that I can like think of. I don't know. They're all kind of on a level playing field, equally shit all round.
There's only about 3 people in Carlow anyway. So
Yeah,
there's a
true.
wee bit.
You know, like it's like 9 people in Leitrim, and like they should be put on level 5 lockdown because they have Rona. Like, you know. No.
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
I have a Coronation Street curveball, but it's quite morbid, and I think we've kind of touched on it already.
How have we touched on Coronation Street accidentally here now? I'm actually intrigued.
It's quite morbid though.
Go on, the fuck. I don't think it can get any more morbid.
Can I get any worse?
Do you want to try it? Right, so you know, just watch Coronation Street by any chance?
No.
Absolutely not.
Right, well, you didn't think it could get any more morbid, but in Coronation Street there's a kid dying.
Jeez.
And his mother and father wanting him to get treatment in Germany, but this is a bit odd. There's like 4 parents, there's step parents, all this shit. But anyway, they're selling like businesses and stuff to try and get money to pay for him, but the doctor said there's no hope. And one of the lines of the day was that it was becoming a bad investment. And I just thought, is there ever a point where a human's life becomes a bad investment?
Fucking investment.
Jesus, yeah, that's
That is.
That's a curveball. That's a nice curveball. I'll take
what's
that.
the release clause like of
fine.
this
Yeah,
chap?
it's a point
Like,
to
you
you.
know, like I don't know.
The release clause.
No, that's a toughie.
I think we'll park that one.
That's
For-
yeah. I think you've stumped us all there.
Yeah, that's a point for me.
Yeah. What's that? 3-2.
Yeah, I think so. Matthew failed his first test.
Have you got a curveball, Matthew?
No,
Is there anyone
not
Is there
on
any
me.
way to get off your chest, even? Just
Yeah. Just
have
anything.
a rant. Now the floor is open.
I don't know.
We're
like,
very
I-
ranty people.
Yeah.
I'm not used to ranting, but no.
So how about that? So how about that lifeboat ethics part?
Oh, good. Jesus, remember that? Good lord. That was good times.
Yeah, they were good times.
A curveball, like off the top of my head. Like the only thing like that's kind of annoying me at the minute is like the whole thing going on in Armenia. I don't know if you've been paying attention to the what's going on over there on the other side of the fish tank. No, so like it's long story short, it's like a sort of I suppose you could say it's a civil war. It's like Armenia and like a portion of like Azerbaijan are like fighting against each other, and the portion of Azerbaijan, it's ran by like ethnic Armenians, and like they're kind of like trying to create like, I suppose what was probably the best comparison for it would be like the Kurds in like Kurdistan, you know, like they're trying to, well, it's not Kurdistan, they're trying to form a Kurdistan, but like they're never going to get it. Well, maybe in another lifetime, but essentially that's what's happened. But like the Azerbaijanis are like shelling like civilian populations, and like I think they shelled a cathedral today or something, like, well, like there was a mass going on or something, and yeah, like seriously fucked up, and it's kind of a case of Russia being backing both, but Turkey backing Azerbaijan pretty strongly.
Yeah, because Turkey don't get
and
along with the
Armenia
Kurds, do they?
don't go well together, as history has spoke. But yeah, I don't know. Putin doesn't seem too fond of supporting kind of either side open-handedly anyway. Especially Armenia anyway, after the whole 2018 revolutions and stuff. They didn't really bode well with old Vlad. But yeah,
What was the name of those revolutions? Was it the Velvet Revolution? No.
Yeah, I think I think so.
Yeah.
You seem like a man who likes his revolutions, Matthew.
I'm very fond of revolutions. I do like them. Like the whole Eastern world just fascinates me. Like, you know, it's just such a shithole. Like at the minute, it's just no, like not in the back. Like no, you said I was ranting. This is me ranting. Like, you know, like
that's the lawsuit coming in anyway.
There we go.
No, like let me explain a bit. Like it's not their fault. It's the Soviet bloc's fall, and it just hasn't like developed. Like Belarus at the minute is just it's fascinatingly in peril. Like I think their leader, I'm not going to pronounce his name because I'm going to absolutely destroy it. I think he's been in power like 26 years or something like that. Like, I think he actually got re-elected in last year's election. That's why all the protests are still going on. That I think the opposition leader or opposition running mate or whatever got like 10% of the votes.
Didn't she?
Your man
flee
got
the
like
country,
90.
though?
Sorry.
Did she flee the country? He's like strongest candidate. Sorry.
I'm not sure. But like there's like marches like every day, and like there's like 10,000 arrested or something like in total. Like it's just insane. It's the same with like Ukraine there not too long ago. Like I think it was like 2011, wasn't it, when your man got overthrown? Like it's just insane. Like how it's still kind of like that side of the world is still paying the consequences of a kind of a state that wasn't theirs. You know? It's
Isn't it mad that, like, isn't it mad that like how much influence like Russia still has over these little nations? Like they're still playing little puppeteers, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, like I think it's similar to Britain, even with Ireland. Like Britain still had a pretty firm grasp on Ireland up as far as even the 60s. You know,
They still do.
I suppose, depending on your persuasion, you could call that Northern Ireland.
Bring back the Empire.
They still owe us 6 counties there, lads, whenever he's ready.
yeah, hand them on. But yeah, like I think it's very economic. Like the Soviet Union only collapsed 30 years ago.
Yeah, it's very recent.
Yeah. I think it'll take a lot longer for that region to stabilize a bit more.
Yeah, especially like how long they were like prevented from benefiting from like I think Armenia are actually trying to get into the European Union. I think that's another thing why the Azerbaijanis are a bit pissed off, because they're just like, yeah, no, you're not getting our spot. But like,
yeah,
I don't particularly want you either. But you know, it's a tough one. It'll be a couple of years yet, I'd say. A couple of decades, I'd say. Even more likely.
Yeah. I heard Azerbaijan is a nice spot.
Oh yeah, Baku. It's meant to be a nice little capital for the Eurovision and all that. Like,
yeah.
So, we won the Europa League there last year, Chelsea.
All right, Tom. This is a non-fucking soccer podcast.
I can't be.
For how long?
Episode 8, it's going to go Chelsea.
Oh, fun.
I think not necessarily political happened during. Well, a lot happened, but no.
Well, yeah. Boris has been relatively quiet, other than the fact that the government has been telling musicians and artists to retrain.
Get the orchestra going.
Boris looks quite fucked, actually, though. I saw him interviewing the other day there.
Oh, yeah?
He doesn't look good now. I'll give him that. But he never did.
Sure, he have a new baby, don't he?
What?
Who, Dominic Cummings?
No.
Yeah, he does. He has a new kid. Yeah.
Baby.
Yeah.
That's why he's probably up feeding.
Definitely not.
To the early hours of the morning.
Yeah, no. Somehow I don't see it.
No.
I do a picture of Boris' baby. It's just like a normal baby with like a massive head of white hair, like.
That's already receding.
Just these first words were "death to peasants." Like,
help! I'm being repressed.
Yeah.
Oh, like he'd want to be in like such a kind of a state though, after being like shouted down by like Ed Miliband. I think he was even shouted down by Theresa May today. Like, so.
Where the fuck did Ed Miliband come out?
Oh, that was a blinder. Like,
it's one of the best like the fucking 21st century, and it was like, I was like, who the hell is this? Ed fucking Miliband, like, where were you for the last 10
Turn
years?
the game.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. I don't
Oh,
know, like,
stop.
Ed
Big
Miliband.
Ed.
What's his brother at now?
Having a notion. Playing conkers out in the backyard or something.
Running the Jeremy Corbyn fan club or something.
Jeez, yeah. R/Corbyn. Very popular parts these days.
Yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I don't know. I like that. Ed Miliband come back there. That was great. Like.
What do you think of Scotland's introduction of restrictions on off license? The 12-hour curfew, nearly.
I would say now you touched on very. I'll actually go first. I am ready. I am ready to go on this.
All right,
The pioneers ready to make a statement and fucking drink.
It's a soft nerve, like for anyone who knows me personally. Like I am quite fond of it, but no, like it's probably like this one, like second, like most like country like this fond of the drink, like, you know, like Ireland and Scotland kind of go hand in hand. But I don't know, it's quite mad. Like of all the countries to kind of put a restriction on it, I would think Scotland would be one of the last ones to do it. Considering how much they like their whiskey and so on. But like, I don't know.
Well, yeah, like Scotch is the biggest. It's the biggest. Has the biggest hold on the whiskey market.
Yeah,
you know,
like it's a logical thing, but I don't approve of it.
That's not where I thought you were going. Thomas.
Jacqueline.
Timothy.
Yeah, I am fully behind Sturgeon, and I honestly think I like, if I had my way, if I was, I'm not going to say if I was me on Mark, because that's not an image I want to have, but if I was in charge, I think I'd go full on fucking prohibition for the next 3 weeks. Like, it's like, you had your lesson, you got pissed, now you can fucking deal with it. Like, there's going to be no drink, no fags, and no fucking scratch cards.
I love that. There's going to be no drink.
No, yeah. There's not one positive, like, realistically, logically, not one positive that comes out of alcohol right now. If you can name me a fucking positive apart from tax, I'd be impressed. That's not positive.
It's literally the only thing we can do, like, with our lives.
That was a luxury we had, and those idiots who had house parties fucked it up, and now we must be punished. So, no drink. Close the off licenses.
Well, what about all the anti-mask protests? Are they not to blame?
What?
Yeah. They didn't close them, did they?
Like, all the farmer jacks in Ireland will literally be at your door. Like, that civil war that we were, like, suggesting earlier, that's what will happen if this is what you were suggesting was to be implied.
Can we not just imagine a world without alcohol for 3 weeks? Like, 3 short, simple weeks. Just don't drink. Just don't. Don't do it. Like, you don't need alcohol.
I'm drinking alcohol as we make this podcast.
Don't drink and podcast.
I'm very passionate about this. I think there should be no alcohol for 3 weeks anyway.
I was hoping you'd finish that sentence.
Yeah, we need a full on country rehab, like, where we all just stay away from the drink. Where Maureen doesn't have to have the fry on in the next morning, like, you know what I mean? Just I don't like. I don't know. That stresses me out slightly. Sorry,
but it's not a full ban on off license. Didn't close the off licenses.
There should be. I want to see Nicola Sturgeon roaming the streets of Glasgow, just breaking windows of every off license in the place. Like, yeah, I honestly think there should be a full ban. Just get over.
The way I see it, I think a curfew, like reducing the hours you can sell alcohol, doesn't really make sense, because if people want to buy alcohol, they're going to buy it within that time. They're going to buy it regardless. So, like, by bringing it forward a couple of hours isn't really going to make a difference. I think the only way, without doing a blanket ban as severe as what Tom is suggesting, I think the only way to kind of combat it is to impose limits on how much drink you can buy.
half a can each.
Sort of a rationing system.
A rationing system, yeah. Go back to World War II with the stamps.
Yeah.
Drink stamps.
Can you imagine the Dublin City
First
Centre? We on the board, we have any stamps here.
Spare stamp for an old fella.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the only way to properly combat it. Because I think with what Thomas suggested, I think that's appetite for destruction.
Anarchy, literal anarchy.
Yeah.
It's punishment we deserve, people. Yeah.
The reign of terror is upon us.
And I don't really like how you're saying we there,
Well,
as if you drink as well.
yeah, well, true.
Yeah, like this is just to
that.
clarify with people. This is a pioneer's view on the situation.
Yeah, but Wanda has never. Have I ever told you not to drink before?
No.
Have I ever said those words? No.
No.
See, you had your chance. You drank. You drank your cans, and now I, as a sane, non-drinking person, says that's it. You should be punished for 3 weeks.
There you have it. There you have it. That's what Tom thinks of people who drink. They're insane.
Gee, thanks.
The truth comes out eventually, Tom.
Like I don't mind people drinking at home, but it's not working. Like it's just not working. They're having house parties. They're getting pissed. It's not working. If something's not working, you don't allow it to happen. This needs to be. I tell you, I've been calling for it for a while. We need a police state. Like that's what we need.
A police state without police that we do not have.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I do understand where you're coming from, Tom. Yeah, I think there needs to be something pretty severe brought in to combat house parties, because that's where the evidence is showing that the rise in cases are coming from.
Yeah, it's the main cause of concern at the minute.
Yeah. Definitely.
And it's not fair to keep blaming young people either. There's lots of like older people having house parties or dinner parties or aperitifs. Is that what they said there?
60 cans of Heineken, like those aperitifs, yeah.
I think it's wrong as well to close pubs, because there's no evidence to suggest that pubs are causing the rise. When, like, the way I see it is, why have house parties where it can't be controlled and it can't be restricted, and fucking, like, in a pub it can be controlled.
Yeah, it can be managed.
The movement of people can be managed. In a house party where there's no supervision, it can't be controlled, and people do become complacent no matter what you say. But if, like, I think it's ridiculous to close pubs and not combat house parties as much.
It's actually encouraging.
Keep pubs open. Yeah, I think keep pubs open and I don't know, bring in some sort of a move. Like, it's not our fucking job to come up with the the legislation. Like, but do something to combat the house parties and not close the pubs. Give people an alternative, a safer alternative to it, because people are going to drink and people want to drink.
Yeah,
why not give them a safe alternative?
Like, this is coming back. Like, why do we need to drink? Like, our actual existence is threatened here. Like, and you're being asked to just fucking chill out for a few months. Like, you know what I mean?
It's just the culture we live in, though. Like, unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Sorry,
like,
it's not the country we live in. It's culture you live in. Sorry. Can I just...
Sorry.
Oh yeah, he stops using the we when it suits.
But weren't like colleges and all that before, like, this level 3 shenanigans now, and the whole, like, kind of going on online, they were all encouraging, like, festivals or, like, kind of like mini kind of gig kind of things to distract or attract, anyway, people away from house parties, and, like, just go and attend for like 6 or 7 hours or whatever and have your few cans and be happy out, rather than having to stay up until the early hours of the morning blaring techno and drinking however much.
I'm a bit touchy with the advice of universities at the minute, but I'll park that for another day.
No, but just the idea of, like, having an alternative, like, I just don't understand why pubs are getting all the blame for, like,
like, they weren't open. They were closed for 6 months, and then 2 weeks later they're back closed again, more or less, unless they have an area for outdoor seating and outdoor service, which a lot of pubs and towns don't have that.
Yeah, but to be fair, like if you're going to close the church, you probably have to close the pub as well. Like, you know, like what's the point in having? Was it at the minute 25 at a funeral, but you could all have a piss up in the pub? Like that's where I don't know. I don't know.
It just seems like a contradiction. Like, yeah, like the whole, well, more or less what the government's argument was, like for level 3 was like an economic kind of issue. But surely then, if you were so worried about economics, you'd keep the pubs open and stuff.
Yeah.
And like even churches as well.
It's not just pubs though as well. Like it's restaurants and cafes as well.
Oh yeah, it's across the board.
Yeah.
Because even they have ruled out that element of pubs that were exploiting that loophole where if they brought in food from, say, a chipper or something and sold it on the chipper's behalf, they were allowed to be open.
That was so stupid.
It was stupid, but if
Very
the loophole
clever.
was there, it was clever. In fairness, whoever spotted that first, fair fucking play to them.
Yeah.
You have to. Yeah, all you can do is give them credit. In fairness, like, but that element has been ruled out now by this.
I think it's only right though, because you can't have like either open all pubs or close all pubs. Like,
Yeah, well, they said that when they were coming out with these new levels. Well, these new levels that aren't worth the fucking paper they're written on.
Not really, no.
But like, it did. I still maintain that the pubs. I know I'm going back a bit now, but it didn't make sense for the pubs to be closed for so long.
No, not at all.
I think it did though. I don't know.
Oh god, yeah.
Maybe it's a thing for another day.
Yeah,
Agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree. There we go. There we go.
Look at you being all fucking nice.
Yeah. We didn't ask you on to be diplomatic, Matthew.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. I have no more notes. I've run through them all.
Roll on whatever the next week has to fucking offer.
Exactly.
I have a feeling. I have a very strong feeling we'll be in level 5 by next week.
Definitely. Next Friday.
It's not probable. It's almost indefinite now at this stage.
Yeah. Yeah. So
it'll all be running to the off license. That will be closed because I am your leader now.
oh God.
I
Yeah,
do
don't
a bit of
forget us.
stock
Though. Don't forget us when you're supreme leader.
Well,
The Premier of Ireland.
El Che.
Yeah. So yeah, there we have it. I suppose don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tell a few people. Yeah, make sure to go back and listen to our previous podcasts too, just so you know what we're referencing. We're not doing too bad. 5 episodes.
I have a feeling Matthew will be back to enjoy that one.
I also have a feeling.
It's been an absolute pleasure being on. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, thanks very much.
No,
It's nice to have a dare I say hard socialist view on things.
Oh Jesus! Come on. Not that bad, am I?
I know. No, it was tamer than what I was expecting.
Yeah.
I'm innocent now.
It takes a few hours though to get Matthew going. I've learned that, like, you know what I mean?
And a few cans. I'm sober enough today. Like, it's like
yeah. When we can travel outside our counties again, we'll do a podcast in person someday.
We're not going to Carlo.
No. You can come down here. You can come down here.
It was in person, not in Carlo. I wouldn't wish it upon you to come into like the new Chernobyl.
Yeah, the abyss. Yeah, so don't forget, I've already said all that. Just tell somebody. Just tell somebody else. Like, you don't have to be interested in politics to listen to our podcast. So I think we're drifting further and further away from politics every week. I'm currently working on getting our videos up onto YouTube, so we will get there eventually. We have one up, I think. Yeah, have one up. Our episode number 1. This one will probably be another 5 weeks away, but
Down the pipeline.
It's it just takes so long. But anyway, yeah, we'll talk to you next week. Thanks a million, Matthew.
Oh, it's no problem. Thank you.
Thanks for working for free like the good socialist you are.
As always, comrade. As always.
See you next week.
Adios.
Sayonara.